The coffin is symbolized not only as the outer man dying and the inner man coming out, it's also a reformation of a man or person when they change their life. See, coffins are just as important as babies because there's only 3 things that you're going to invest in your life: food, entertainment, and coffins. You've done all 3 in one album. You gave them food for thought. Y'all have beats and rhymes that entertain the average rapper or rap fan, hip-hop fan, whatever, or participant. But then the coffin itself, just like that box, is where the mind stays or how the mind develops. What is the challenge you're giving the listener from hearing this, as you call it, the first part of the bigger message?
So the challenge for the listener, there's a few things for the listener. For one, it's not traditional hip hop. Like, you know, traditional hip hop is a hook, verse, hook, verse. On this album, we didn't really follow that formula. We followed an organic feeling where, let me just walk you through this. So, these ones. So, so it was an organic formula that disrupts the normal system of thinking for the listener. I think that's the challenge for them to actually sit down and listen to something that they don't normally listen to, and it's interesting at the same time.
Glad you said that. Because now we're going to go back to something that we've said either off camera or on camera, which was people are making the same album different ways.
Right.
That's traumatic. Because in our community, we are being, or have been so beat down that to be tough means you're the best slave out of the bunch. You ever heard the story of, oh, I forgot the name, I apologize. There was a guy, it's a song that a Caucasian made back in racist America from yesterday, not today. And it was about the guy, a bully. And the bully would always bow his head, yes master, yes master. But when he was around people who looked like him, he had to bully them so that he was the toughest, most respected one because he didn't get respect anywhere else. How are you changing that stigma of hip hop?
Not turning them through the same thing. How I change it is disrupting their system by changing the narrative, right? The key is to change the narrative of what they think hip hop is, because hip hop is always going to develop. Like, hip hop is a child, but the child has to grow up eventually. It has to grow up. It can't remain a child forever. So the stage that this child is in right now is adolescent stage, it's doing what it want to do. The current state of hip hop is doing whatever you want to do, dressing however you want to dress, whether you want to be this or that or both, right? And at some point, the parent has to step in and say, okay, it's time to get your shit together, right? You've been doing a little bit too much, so you need to get your shit together in school. You need some education. You need a career goal. You need a path. This is hip hop. I'm talking to hip hop as a child. You need to get your shit together, right? And there's some of us who are gonna come in and be parents to this, and we're gonna sit down with the whole nation of hip hop, not just a few of them, but the whole nation of hip hop. And I'm quite sure it's hundreds of other brothers just like me outside in the world that people are really not paying attention to. You know, the verses thing is cultural, the standard cultural hip hop feeling. Like, that's the
entertainment side.
Right, the entertainment side of it, right? But there's a lot of stuff that ain't really entertaining about it.
So wait. I like that you said that. You said it, So I'm gonna ask you to answer your question. How do you define hip hop? What is it?
For me, I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for me. We talked about creativity earlier. We talked about you know, expression, and hip hop was an expression of your creativity, and that's a lot of people are doing that right now. But for me, hip hop is a weapon. It's a weapon in America. It's a weapon. In America, it's just normal. They usually take what we got because they know it's a weapon and use it against us, right? So they done snatched hip hop up and created these labels and did all of this stuff with these labels to the point now it's a little bit different because we don't need labels. I don't need you no more. Like, I don't need to do that. And thanks to Master P and them, because they kind of changed the dynamic of that. You know, some people don't want to leave that. Some people need the labels. Some people want to dress like that. Some people want to be a part of that system. And again, it's just changing the narrative.
See, that's what me and you connect and differ at the same time. Because I believe hip hop is nothing but the Most High. And we've made it something else. Like, I think we agree from expression, part of it. The part where I think we disagree from it is this. I think you undermine your ability to be hip hop on another level. Because your goal is not big enough. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't understand what you're saying when you say my goal is not big enough.
And see, that's where the God thing comes into it. And this is what I mean. Your album's for everybody and nobody at the same time.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody would get it, yet nobody's exempt. You see what I mean?
Okay.
It's outside and inside at the same time. So when we talk about your goal, and we already talked on the camera about it being a trilogy, your album is more Star Wars than it is Walking Dead, for instance. And I believe when you see that it's Star Wars, you'll see what I mean.
I kind of see what you mean. Like, it's not even kind of, I see what you mean, but I'm humble, right? That's the humility in me. I just don't put myself, like you said, I'm not going to, the goal is still the masses, like globally. The album is globally, like it's not just for the streets or for, I get when you say hip hop is God, right? But again, I'm just a weapon, right? Because there's many of us, there's many weapons. I might be used specifically for traumatic experiences, right? God might create another avenue for somebody that said, I need you to be the sharpshooter. I might need you to be the gunner. You know what I mean? And right now, I'm a sniper.
And that's God.
Right.
That's hip hop.
Right.
But that's what we're missing from hip hop. Because now everybody's force feeding us the gunner.
Right.
No one's giving us, outside of guns, let's take it out of weaponry. But but being a weapon just the same. Nobody's praising the architect enough. They're only praising the money man.
Right. I agree.
Nobody's praising.
I agree.
Nobody's praising. Okay. Let's do this another way for everybody on camera who loves hip hop. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. They're the top three, right? I said this before. Maybe you may agree and disagree. They always compare them to the 90s rappers. They're nothing like 90s rappers, though.
No.
I think Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole being the top artists is more like the 80s. Because you had Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One. They had so many because the landscape was so much expression-based that other people could come in like, nah, Lupe, nah, Future, nah, you see what I'm saying? So names kept coming, but when it was the 90s, it was a pocket, it was regional, and it was skill-based. Hip-hop today is not skill-based. Hip-hop today is expression-based. who has the nicest clothes, who's twerking the best, who takes pictures at the best angle, but nobody's hitting the soul of hip hop. That's why I said Star Wars.
I got you.
Because Star Wars is very soul driven, not just lesson driven. You see what I'm saying? That's why I think what you made is more powerful than even you understand what it is.
Might be. It might be. But again, I'm gonna go back to what I said, because I'm just used as a tool to get it there, right? If you put that in the perspective of even Malcolm or those who came before us, the world didn't know how great they were until they were gone.
That's a fact. And then they lied about who they were.
Right. Right. So I might not even impact the world like I want to until I'm gone.
Stop right there. That's Star Wars. Now you get my point.
I understand. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Because let's talk faith driven now. Abraham, right? Someone called Ibrahim, right? He's the father of faith, right? Why?
Because of his his loyalty, his dedication, his trustworthiness, his vision, his honesty.
That's an honest album you made. Continue.
I'm with you. Fearlessness.
Changing the narrative. Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you. Like we vibing.
We vibing. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different characteristics that you can explain of why, though.
So the answer that was given in the books of scripture was because after he died, people still learn from his example.
Right.
That's why this album is special, and you could be the father of something in hip-hop bigger than the sound.
Right.
Because this album can teach people generations into the future where others' albums have ended 3 months after they came out. See what I mean? Let's put it in this perspective. Because you a smart man. I've learned from you without even meeting you. And you don't even understand that. Because I met you years ago. You just don't remember me.
Okay.
I love doing this, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I met you years ago, but I didn't meet you as I listened to your music. I met you as a person that stood his ground. I'm very silent. My trauma is I never had a village. I was always solitude, by myself. So my introvertedness was always, what do I see in people? And then how does it affect me as I leave those people? The man you are scares people because the way you rhyme is the way you live. But the way you live is above life. And if you're above life, there's an understanding that most people can't get to because they haven't risen yet. So, one song on this album that really made me think about rising above trauma was What to Do Now. Because that's the main question everybody asks themselves in their life. So what do I do now? What now? I believe, and you can tell me how you feel, life is not about what you go through, it's how you handle what you go through.
I agree.
So tell me more. What else do you feel from that statement?
Because I'm just a spiritual being, you know what I mean? I'm a spirit experiencing human, like being a human. Like I'm just here traveling, I'm just a passerby, right? And me passing by, there's a mission in that, right? The mission was already given to me before I was even born, you know, and I just gotta walk it. So just even, I don't like, I'm not gonna say I don't like, I just choose not to be up there because, like you said, people are not gonna really get it until later. So I kind of, what to do now is like on the ground with them. Like, let me come down here with y'all and walk y'all through this. Let me get on the bus, go get this job real quick. Because he doesn't, the individual doesn't know what to do. But that came from the transformation what happened? You sat with an elder, right? And the elder, you was resisting against this elder, right? This is normal when you resisting against the elder, but you get the information. You kind of just don't want him to see that. We just talked about that too, off camera. But you still get the information when you leave, and then when you leave, you know it's resonating in your mind. It's there. You're like, yo, what I'm gonna do? Because I can't get away from this conversation that I had with the elder, even though I made it seem like I wasn't listening. And I learned that from, right? And I learned that because I have relatives the same way. Like my nephew, I love him to death, man. My nephew does this to me all the time. I could beat him down about, just life period, and keep pushing him in the right direction, and he'd make his decisions and his choices. And then he'd hit me months later like, yo, you think I wasn't listening, but I was. I just had to experience it myself.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I said this album is bigger than you think. Remember how you said to me, you could take the lyrics from the first track and spit it to a teenager, and it's like, oh snap, that's Star Wars. Yo, you told you your father's dead, I'm your father. And you hurt that young man, and now that man has to come to terms with his identity. Where decades later, they do a whole new trilogy where the main character is a female and she has to deal with her identity. Where even before that, they did another trilogy, and it was about how is he going to turn into who he's supposed to, and it was about his traumatic experience of losing his mother and losing his identity. Identity is what hip-hop is missing first and foremost. Because to have a soul, you have to know who you are.
Right.
As an ADOS, we don't even know who we are because there's no tribe. Some of us believe we're from Africa. Some of us don't believe we're from Africa. We're Americans from the door, Turtle Island. You know what I'm saying? And that lack of identity spoils us into the landslide of traumatic living. Bible says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's identity. So if identity is the major thing worth saving, why are people pissing the opportunity away and giving their identity up?
I mean, the answer is in what you said. They pissing it away because they still don't know who they are. I'm pissing away something I don't even know what it is. If they never had an identity and you show them when they still not gonna, that ain't me. I've been living this way all my life. So in order, again, you gotta, that's building and destroying. You gotta destroy everything that you knew and then fill yourself up with something else. That's one of the hardest things to do. If a person been blind to who he is and he didn't have an identity for 27 years, it's gonna take about the same amount of time to get him back to who he needed to be.
That's a fact.
So that's why they pissing it away.
Because of the pain.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson said there's gonna be pain.
Yeah.
And he said everybody has a plan till you get punched in the face.
Right.
But if you study Eastern religion, they tell you pain is the condition of growth in life. So if you never felt pain, how could you ever grow?
Right.
And if you never felt pain, how can you identify experience? And without experience, how can you teach?
Right. Same thing Pac said. He said the rose grew from the concrete. That explains it all.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.